Yesterday was a very emotional and very trying day. And for some, it was very revealing. And for some, it was relief. But for most of us, we now confirm that we are all together. Hello and welcome, my darlings. I'm Lady Zelda Kelly, and we are here seeing crime. And the more we see, the more we see. It's just very disturbing, to say the least. From what we saw yesterday, the antics of the CW, the antics of now, the Chief Rafferty, in my opinion, supposedly, allegedly, trying to manipulate things. I'm going to share this with you. Imagine waking up every morning and the first thing you think of is, how can I make this go away? How can I manipulate something that will satisfy all parties? And how can I make this go away? But also imagine if you are Trooper Michael Proctor, there we go, welcome Mercury retrograde. Imagine if you're him and you are trying to make an impression. You've been told things like, rookie move, and maybe you shouldn't have done this. And you saw he was having this group text, and even with his sister, with his buddies, and he was feeling empowered because they were asking him. He was an authority. And look at the sun coming in on this reading. This is because there's some light that's being shed on the situation. But imagine all these people this morning. The chief who writes a letter that says, supposedly, allegedly, that the investigation by the feds have been closed or about to be closed. There was a little play on words there. Go back and read it again. I'm not so sure I'm convinced, not after we heard about the message that was sent over regarding the Sallyport videos that had LOL, lol, on the message. These are people that are not taking things seriously, that have done this many times before, in my opinion, and they've gotten away with it. And if this hasn't piqued the interest of the feds, I don't know what does. We have a prosecutor, a prosector, that is taking matters in his own hand and manipulating the truth to make it look as though he can get his way. Just like the court TV thing. It's very sickening. And these are dangerous people. They wear uniforms. They are officers of the court. Not everybody is like that. And I know that there are many that are around there that are sickened by this behavior. So that's not a blanket statement. It's a fact as far as they are concerned. They are power hungry. And the scariest thing is that when people are, look at these shadows, when people are power hungry like this, and that's not me, that is the sun coming through the window. Isn't that amazing? But when people are power hungry, they become desperate. Desperate. And what happens after desperate? Danger. A desperate person is probably the most dangerous person ever because they will do anything and everything they can in order to heal their situation or their circumstance. This is a really bad situation as far as they are concerned. And that's what brings us here this morning. I have my tea. It's early. The sun is coming up, as you see. It's amazing how some of the words in the energy EVPs are coming out from John. And if you're new here, please consider joining our community. You'll love it here. I know you will. Please subscribe, like, comment, just come on in. Because on Saturday nights, we kind of morphed into EVPs of John's energy. And believe me, we've been getting some words that are falling right into place, coming together. The pieces of this puzzle are coming together. And we are guided by some of the words that John has been giving us. So please make sure that you stop over Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's New York, America time. We'd love to have you. So this morning, what you're seeing in front of you is going to be a different reading. I am reading from a lighter cloth because I want to shed some light on some situations. I have the Laura Twan Lenormand deck. I have the Lisa Parker Tarot. You may not have seen this one before. And I have the Fire Element. Look, they are very well used and very well worn. The reason I have these cards out this morning is because this reading is for me. Now, I'm not reading personally. I want to check myself. I want to fact check myself. I want to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. Because as a reader, the one dangerous thing that we can always do is get biased. And I'm not wanting to be biased. But I do see the factual truth. And I do see what these people have done and done to John. So I do this just to make sure that I'm on track. And if there's something that I need to correct, you can bet I will correct it, because that's not what it's about. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a medical professional. I am a tarot professional. I'm a tarot profiler, a psychic medium, and I've worked with law enforcement over the years many, many, many times. So here we are, my darlings. Let's get started. So there's no energy to see in the cloth today because I want to make sure that we're starting from a blank slate. And that's where we are. All right, so here we are. Now, my question for Spirit Guides and Angels, show us the pathway. Have I been on the right path by sharing the messages that I am? Are these messages translated by me correctly? What do I need to see? What pathway do I need to take? Show me in this Karen Reed case, please. And thank you. All right, so now we're going to make sure that Zelda is on check. And you're going to see why I like these cards. There's the Six of Cups. The Eight of Wands. The Six of Swords. Amazing. And the Seven of Swords. I was going to shut my blind, but I just kind of like the sun coming in there on these. Move my cup. Let me move some things around. I don't know if you can hear the birds. The Nine of Pentacles. Putting these to the side. From what I'm getting here, and you may hear the kitties in the background, they're happy this morning. They had their breakfast. From what I'm seeing is the Six of Cups is a card where there's reflection, there's memories. This is creating memories. And with this Eight of Wands, information comes in so quickly. I mean, there's absolutely no way I could be one of these people that could make content ahead. There's just no way. And God bless them, believe me, because it's hard work. But making this, having this come in, because I'm going to tell you this information, like we saw yesterday during this motion hearing. And by the way, it is March the 6th. It is Thursday, 2025. From what we saw yesterday in the motion hearing, that's going to stick with many of us for a very, very long time. The fact that I'm seeing the Six of Swords means that this is good. I'm going to try to move here so you can see the cards. It means that we are now moving from choppy waters into a much calmer territory, a much calmer seas, which means now we are approaching some very serious territory. So far, from what I'm gathering, from what I'm seeing, I have been on track. Between these two cards, my predictions are that Karen will be acquitted. She will be, I'm going to say, cut loose. The swords are air element. They are communication. They are thoughts, words, and deeds, letters. But the Nine of Pentacles means finally at rest and living financially in a way that is supposed to be. Now, that's not for me. That's for Karen. I want to lay out a few different cards here. Let me see. I hope that doesn't... I kind of like the sun on my reading today. It's kind of cleansing. I love it. The Eight of Pentacles. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. Now you know why I like this. The Eight of Pentacles. That I am remaining consistent. Very good. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm remaining consistent, and with this Ace of Wands. Look at this little fellow. Look at those eyes. Hello. He's got a book. He's got a wand. Can't read the writing in the book, but I can tell you this. It's basically saying that the time is going to come. The time is going to come, and we had the King of Wands yesterday, and we had an Ace of Wands, I believe, also in a reading for the yesterday. This Ace of Wands is telling us that there's now fire. There's fire in the bellies of many. I mean, yesterday when AJ was giving his presentation on this motion to dismiss and was outlining everything about the Sallyport videos, and then Hank gets up. I'm going to tell you, I think it was a big mistake to put up those two Sallyport videos, and then they have different colors of font. I mean, I think that was a bad move on his part. But you see, there's one reason I also refer to him as Pinocchio, other than his little nose gets longer every time he says something. It's the fact that he's a puppet. The Five of Wands. Making sure that there are boundaries. And I get that. And that's what it's telling me, to stay consistent and to make boundaries. Make sure that there are boundaries. Don't cross a certain line. And I've been very dutiful, I believe, in doing that. I see other readers, and I do watch other readers, but I see other readers that don't mind accusing people. I mention people, but I'm also very careful because I'm not going to accuse somebody of something without having the absolute fact in front of me. While I believe the cards don't lie, the one thing I don't want to do is get caught up in this, this person did this and this person, because I become that is a foolproof way of becoming very biased in the cards. And being biased in the cards will lead to a biased reading, and that's what I don't want, because if I see a change, I'm going to tell you. No doubt. I'm going to tell you. Let's get this Lenormand. So far, my darlings, I feel like I'm on track, and I will check. Okay. The key, the 8 of Diamonds. The Queen of Diamonds, the pathway. Pardon me. Through the readings, we are discovering a new path. There's a new communication coming out. There's new, continued new situations. The diamonds are business and legal, and for me, they are air elements. They're all things communication. And with this Queen of Diamonds here at this pathway, to me, it's not a crossroad. To me, it's a discovery of a new path. It's a discovery, and I believe we had that discovery yesterday. There was huge discovery that came out yesterday. All right, so now we're going to lay these out, the Cartomancy deck. And I want to thank you for being here while I'm having my tea and cards this morning. That's an ace timing card, the 9 of clubs, and that, I've got to tell you, my darlings, that's actually me. I am the Queen of Hearts because I'm a Pisces, and it's a water sign. So what it's telling me directly is that I'm pretty much on the right track. I have to be cautious about the path that I take. I can understand that. But there's been a commitment, and I believe this commitment started for me this past fall. But for the Karen Reed case, I also believe that there were many things that started happening in September until now. And if we go back, we may see that. But definitely, this is a card that basically says that so far, so good. So far, so good. And I'm appreciative of that. Because you know me. I think you know me by now. If there were something that I would see, if I thought Karen was wrong, look at this little stinker. If I thought Karen was wrong, if I saw that she was wrong, if I saw she would do it, I'd tell you. I would tell you. The 9 of Swords. This little Knave of Wands is the same as a knight. Let's look at this little face. Look at him. He's got a little watch, a crystal ball, a book. So that's telling me that, and it's a wand suit, so it's fiery, just like the 5 of Wands, just like the 8 of Wands. So, and this Ace of Wands. So communication is the key. It's the fire element of this whole thing. It's having that fire. That's why I'm using the fire element, I guess, of this Cartomancy deck. It's having that drive. That's this knight. Let me move him up so you can see. And that happens to be Bilbo that you are hearing. So, my darlings, I think that we're on the right track. But I am also going to say there is someone here that is going to be very, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be trouble from yesterday. Trooper Michael Proctor. Now, I'm going to lay these cards out on top of this. Lover boy. Trooper Proctor. Coming in, and it says jealousy here, but I truly believe there was an envy, because Trooper Proctor wanted to be the man. He wanted to be the authority figure. That's why he was used. He was used. He fell into it. He was used by these people, in my opinion, at 34 Fairview, which resulted in this of John. He got too involved. He got emotionally involved. And he has been the throwaway, as we see. He's not going to fare well for this. I don't care what anybody says. He's not going to come out of this. His desire in this whole thing was to be included, was to be a hero. He wanted to be the hero. There's a letter. So I believe we might even hear emotion today. There may be something signed by Bev. There could be something today, something tomorrow come out. She's given until Monday for the motions in lemonade, as they say in Melanie Little's channel. But keep watch, keep looking. Look at this card. It just kind of magically moved there, didn't it? Well, it wasn't magic. It was me that did it. So we're going to see some more coming out, my darlings. That is Trooper Proctor as well. And he shows up as an immature, charming male. I don't think we can argue over that. This Two of Spades is telling us that there is a cut, a delete, a parting. There is a severance. There is a letting go. This is a divorce card, but in his situation, I do not believe he's going to be getting divorced. His wife will stick by him until the bloody end. Okay, that's the way it goes. This is a card of gambling. Now, this gambling, my darlings, is not a casino gamble. He's been gambling with this situation. And in this card comes some dual meanings. It means that there has to be a change of a way something is done, and he didn't do it. But there's also with this reflecting on both sides of the situation so you can see where the risk lies. That's something that he didn't do, and that's going to cost him dearly. Most likely his career, and maybe some other things. There's more to come, my darlings. I wanted to just have you with me this morning and say good morning, and I'm sorry I've got this shadow, but you know what? We are in the Mercury shadow period, pre-shadow period. We're there. And this is it. This is me in the House of Zelda right now. So take a breath, take a rest, and look at this. Light is being shown on everything coming through. It's all good, my darlings. You know, let's just get a final word from the tarot. Final word from spirits, guides, and angels to give us some uplifting thoughts today. First card off. The Six of Wands. Look at all the wands. Look at all the batons they're called in this particular deck. The Six of Wands. You know what that means? It means that we are winning. It means that we are champions. Because we're sticking it out. We've got the back of someone who was wrongly accused. And I believe that. That's my opinion. But in the original Universal Rider-Waite deck, there is a rider on a horse that is carrying a laurel wreath of victory. Can't get better than that today. This has been a victory yesterday, and I want you to think about that. Instead of, definitely, we have righteous anger, absolutely. But let's turn this a minute and think, thank God this came out. Because for all of us who have been saying, where are the feds? What are they going to do? When are they going to step in? This is crazy. I'm so emotional. You know what? Let's take a breath, because we're not henny pennies on this. Many times we have to go through situations, maybe not as egregious as this, I can tell you that, but many times we have to go through situations in order to learn. And unfortunately, Karen is going through this, but thank God she's not a weak soul. She's the hero. She's the champion of this. For everything that she's been put through, believe me, there's going to be some abrupt changes. Abrupt change. We're going to hear about it. Abrupt change is coming in the month of March. So hang on, my darlings. The winds of change are blowing, and the CW is inheriting the wind. Trooper Proctor got caught red-handed, and Pinocchio is still the puppet. Welcome to the CW. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. I'll be here. I'm watching. I'm learning. And I will see you very, very soon. Hey, I'm looking forward to Saturday night. Join me. Please subscribe, like, share this if you can. And I will see you again very soon. Now, go have some tea. Maybe a couple of eggs. See you soon.